People with ADHD often have quite an interesting experience in the workforce and the workplace as employees. And that experience is we are often the most exceptional, wonderful, appreciated people in the company, and so often simultaneously the most frustrating, difficult, and consistently up for review people. And a huge part of that is because management doesn't know how to deal with us because our needs are just a little bit different. It's not that they're even particularly insane or crazy or hard to meet. They're just not what people expect. But if managers, if staff, if you're a manager or a boss or you manage people in an organization, no matter the size, and those people may or definitely have ADHD, please hear this and please consider making some changes. Now, to get to where I'm going to go, I'm going to share an example, or maybe two, but we'll see how we go. It is so common with my clients with ADHD that they are recognized as being so good at so many things, and in particular areas of the business, they might absolutely shine. They might be the people who have the great ideas to do the genius marketing strategies or whatever it is that just takes the company to the next level. And those same people might seem almost incapable of filling out their timesheets to the point that it almost seems malicious or intentional incompetence, which it isn't. And often, these people with ADHD who are so helpful to the company end up losing their jobs or getting all sorts of terrible things happen, or just get so stressed and pressured that they wash out, or, because it's just too hard with the pressure they're put under by people who are not appreciating how good they are, but are just constantly harassing them and belittling them for not being able to do this task, which those people perceive as being extremely simple. But for anyone with ADHD knows it's like climbing Mount Everest blindfolded with an axe in your back. Not going to happen. And we get absolutely punished for our inability to do these things. So coming back, if you're a manager, here's what you have to do. Appreciate that they're awesome at something. Leverage them to be doing more of that thing. Now, yes, you need to be able to track their time or whatever it might be in order to pay them appropriately. But if they're not able to fill out their timesheets, no matter how much you harass or try, no matter what you're doing, if it's not changing, then it's not going to change if you just keep doing more of the same thing. So if you want that person to stay and keep contributing to your company, you must try different creative things. Like, just go to their desk and say, "Hey, Steve, when did you clock in today?" 8:15. Awesome. And cool. Or even, and when did you leave yesterday? 5:20. Sick. Bye. It's done. If you're too busy, pay someone or get someone else who's good at that stuff to go do it for Steve. That's it. Then the whole problem of him not having them filled out is done. And he's not feeling pressured or whatever. Instead, the thing that you need in order to be able to pay him is taken care of. The issue isn't that he can't do it, it's just that they're not being done. This is not rocket science. This is very straightforward stuff. Sometimes I feel like I'm taking crazy pills when I hear some of the things that people are getting in trouble for, when I also hear all the things they're doing. It's just crazy. Now, just while I'm on that topic, don't just start doing this to Steve, but just ask him what resources or things or people you could provide to him, or whatever Steve you're working with, that would get the job done. Just ask him, work with him. Don't just say, "Hey, I'm going to check up on you and do this every day." That feels bad for us. But if you said, "Hey, I don't mind popping around every day and just asking you, or even just calling you and you just tell me, I'm happy to do that. Would you like that?" Leave it up to him or them or the person. Yeah. I'll give one other example. I had a client and they worked in a photography studio. And I mean, I didn't see their photos, but I believed them when they told me that they were bloody talented at taking photos. When a client came to the studio and needed photos taken, this person did an incredible job. Their boss loved the quality of the photos. The clients were so happy and overjoyed. But this person, as part of their role, wasn't just to take photos. They were also supposed to take phone calls and reply to emails between clients. That was something that this person couldn't really do. Now, we could go on and on about how easy it is and it's not a big deal and it's part of the job role and description and you should be able to do it and what am I paying you for? All that just garbage. We could indulge in that if we wanted. Or we could acknowledge that there is a person who is an insane asset to a business, generating so much revenue and income and reviews and good things. And that person has strengths and weaknesses. And if you just let them do their strengths more and found other ways that the things they weren't good at could get done, probably, which I'll get to that in a second. If you did that, you'd just be more successful overall, instead of just getting upset because the job they applied for, they're not doing the full list of it. These things change. Like, we don't know what we're good at or not, or what we can or can't do always. And hey, she might have just really wanted the job because an amazing photographer. Now, what ended up happening with this client of mine, they were so close to losing their job, but I ended up calling the manager and being like, "Oi, what are you doing?" I mean, at my client's request, and it was all facilitated. I didn't just do it out of the blue, but anyway. What ended up happening instead was that the manager employed a new person, created a new role and filled it for someone who'd come in for an hour or two each day or a couple of hours a week, check the phone calls, answer some calls, reply to some emails. Done. Now, my client was then able to just do the thing they were incredible at, and they were able to do a better job because they weren't sitting there going, "Oh, I haven't done the emails." That's not a creative, that's not a state of mind that allows creative freedom and ability to shine through. Now, again, as I say this sounds so obvious to me because it should be. But to this manager, it was the most unbelievable, revolutionary concept he'd ever heard, and he didn't even understand what I was going on about for some time. Until finally he was like, "Oh, you mean someone else could just do that tiny role?" It's like I just sprouted wings and started flying around on the ceiling and eating my own face off. He couldn't believe it, couldn't comprehend it. Nuts. Anyway, coming back. How can you apply this? If you are a manager of people who may or may not have ADHD, and if you manage a big enough corporation or a big enough pool, someone's gonna. Just statistically, right? Then acknowledge that there's things they're not good at and just find ways to get it done. Instead of making it that person's problem, find a way to manage the person and the organization by resourcing appropriately. That's your job. Help your staff to be the best version of them they can be. That's literally the role of a manager. Like, I don't mean to have a go at you in particular necessarily. I'm frustrated on the behalf of many of my clients who've suffered. And if you are a person in a workplace getting harassed or maybe bullied, it can feel like that, or you're constantly getting in trouble for things that you're not good at, or you're about to quit because you just can't take being harassed about your timesheets, or maybe it's something else. Maybe you don't do emails or phone calls well, whatever, a million things it could be. But if that's you, maybe show this video to your employees, or else just understand this concept so you can explain it to them and get the leverage and support you need. And it's an easy sell. Hey boss, would you want to just get way more out of me and get better outcomes for the whole company? Oh, yeah, you do? Oh, who would have thought? Like, shouldn't have too many issues there. Now, I sincerely hope that this has helped someone. If it's you, please write in the comments how you might plan to use this, or even how you have if you're coming back after watching this some time ago, and if so, welcome back. Thanks again for your time. Thanks for listening and getting up to this point. This, once again, brings us to the end of my video. And if you liked me, if you liked my style, if you liked how I talk, and you want to see more, I post a new video every single day. So if you'd like to see more, hit subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow in my next video, where I talk about who knows what. Let's find out.